last Saturday was so fun, unbelievably
Mhm.
fun, because we were talking about Giants, and we didn't talk about it on an opinion basis. We're talking about it what literally small town newspapers and publications across the world have been reporting since like the mid 1840s. We spent an hour and a half last week, and we only got to 1873 on when these sightings like were done, and it was fascinating to see the similarities. We were starting to piece stuff together just by like the consistency of the stories.
Right.
And shout out to Jason
Mhm.
Colavito, who opened it and wisely chose probably not to come on this show, but his loss really, because I think we're cool dudes. But yeah, he did an awesome job of chronologically putting all this stuff together, and
Right.
I think reading it in that order was very beneficial. And I'm guessing he went through that labor to put all that together in that order specifically for that reason. So, ooh,
Ooh, yeah.
uh,
Nice,
Oh boy.
nice bottle pop.
Bloody
Right.
Butcher. Still, I was drinking it last night. Starlight Distillery. Shout out.
Ew, jeez.
Good job.
Oh,
Juice.
Good job.
they
Oh,
had their.
yeah.
They let
Feels
me
so
go up
good.
on top. They were cooking one of the vats, Damon,
Yeah.
and they had it open, and they let me go up and film inside of it, and I was getting a waft of it. It was like corn porridge. It was so sweet.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Because and it says here like they all use sweet mash on this. So I was like, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So anyway, Giants. Anyway, after the show last Saturday, I do want to briefly talk about this.
Mhm.
There was a phone call made on my end to validate the story that I brought up. And
Yeah, it
at first, it
was.
did not go good with me. Shout out Aunt Tammy, who had no idea what I was talking about.
Facts.
But Uncle Randy was like from the top
Yep.
rope in the background while he was sick. Hope you're feeling better, Uncle Randy. Did he confirm or deny the story?
He confirmed.
He confirmed.
Yeah, I just want you guys to say that. I didn't want to say it. So.
Yeah. And there's supposedly some pictures floating around somewhere, possibly.
Supposedly, there's a friend request waiting to get accepted.
Oh, well.
You know what?
He
I
said
haven't
long
looked in a couple days. Let me look. We
he
might
said long
get.
enough. He said long enough.
I mean, bro,
He needs to stop playing games, man.
if I could see that, I would just absolutely cry. So happy.
Yeah.
Send him a message telling him don't make you come down there.
Yeah. I mean, did he add me? Nope. Still waiting. He's only got 51 friends, so there's a chance he's not on there very often.
Yeah. Yeah. We might have to go to Plan B on that contact.
Yeah. But anyway, the story was confirmed. There was
Well, I mean,
photos.
here's the thing, though. You keep saying the story. Tell the story real quick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought I talked about it on the show.
No, that was after.
No, it was after the show.
Oh, everybody, I am so sorry. Well, shoot, no one probably like, what the hell? So there was a story as a kid, and I was not even 10 years old, that on my dad's side there was a discovery found of what I was told was Bigfoot's arm, is what they described it as. And it was something, the arm was as long as they were tall. They took it to a local taxidermist. The taxidermist confirmed he had never seen anything like it before. That it was just not an animal. It wasn't a human. They didn't know what it was, but it had like actual like fingers where it would have had fingernails and everything like that. And so the rumor continues to go that they found someone, from some government agency to test it. It was sent off, and then it was never received back. but there were photos surviving of them posing with said bone. I got a little concerned because I was like, was I just being a little kid that was lied to and just a story? And
Right.
so I made a phone call, and the story was confirmed that I was not being lied to. And that was in the Warsaw area, Coshocton, which is also close to Salt Fork State Park, where they have like the Bigfoot conferences and everything like that.
Yeah.
But after last week, you have to wonder, was it Bigfoot or was it a giant figure? Allegedly. You don't know.
Who knows?
And we don't know because it was sent out for testing and we never got it back, supposedly.
Yep.
So, shocker.
They probably confiscated that. Like, this
Yeah.
will not get back to the public.
Right. So, so we have our itinerary of chronological order.
Like, who
of stuff
found this?
like
Just
that.
some guys in Ohio sent it in. Yeah, they ain't getting it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this happened, this would have been mid 90s. Early to mid 90s is when this took place.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, Johnsy, what are we doing first? Are we continuing on with this?
Well, I think this touches on some of the stuff we've already talked about, so we could just hit this real quick.
Well, we are basically giant experts at this point. Get it? Giant experts, big brains. But we're also talking about giants. Nope. Got it.
So,
all right, let me maximize.
top 10 giant discoveries in North America.
That number 1 is wild.
Okay, there we go. That's a little better. So,
West Hickory,
top 10 giant discoveries in North America. Top image is a graphic chart displaying the heights of various giant discoveries in North America. Now, these are just the skeletons, so that's an average height skeleton.
Which number?
Well, yeah.
Oh, hold on.
Which number is the average height, Johnson? Because we couldn't see your mouse, your cursor.
Oh, it's the one that says average height.
Oh, okay. That's, okay.
Number 11.
All the way on the left. Okay.
All the way on the left, yeah.
So, yeah. All right. So look at the Tuscaroras.
Yeah, the Iroquois, the
What
Osage,
county? Do you guys remember what county I live in?
Hurons, Omahas.
Yeah.
Oh
The
my.
Tuscaroras. I live in Tuscarawas County.
Right.
It's also one county away from where said bone was found. Anyway.
And many other North American Indians all speak of giant men who once lived and roamed in the territories of their forefathers. All over what is now the U.S. traditions of these ancient giants. Over 1,000 counts of 7 foot and taller skeletons have reportedly been unearthed from ancient burial sites over a 200-year period in North America. Newspaper accounts, town, country, just what we're going through. These skeletons have been reported from coast to coast with strange anatomic anomalies such as double rows of teeth, jawbones so large as to fit over the face of the finder, and elongated skulls, documented in virtually every state. So there's a little map of the United States and wherever there's
Dude, it's thick in Ohio, man. Oh my God.
Up in them
It's like
Appalachian.
right.
It's like dark purple with so many light purples.
So, Smithsonian scientists identified at least 17 skeletons that stood over 7 feet in their annual reports, including one example that was 8 feet tall with a skull with a 36-inch circumference, reported from Anna, Illinois, in the Smithsonian Annual Report of 1873.
Now, that's saying something if the Smithsonian reported on it. Like, there's no really coming back from that if they confirm it.
An average, what does that say? Uh,
An average
average
human skull is 20
20
inches
inches.
circumference.
Wow. The skeletons. Oh, oops. The Smithsonian Institution is mentioned dozens more times as the recipient of enormous skeletons from across the entire United States. The skeletons mentioned no longer seem to exist, regardless of their actual size. And the remaining ones that were on display were removed and reparated by NAGPARRA, Native American Grave Protections and Reparation Act. Oh, interesting. While the authors currently support this law, it does not present a moral ethical conundrum. Okay, whatever. So this unique top 10 giants. Here we go. So Serpent Mound, Ohio, 1890s, 7 foot
7 foot.
tall skeleton.
And that's funny. That's funny you brought up the serpentine, or it brought up the Serpentine Mound, because when we had the list of the week or a couple of weeks back, Tony, when that was actually one of the destinations in Ohio to actually go visit.
Yeah, it's one of the wonders of the world, and this is where a few weeks ago, when I was up in my last trip to Michigan, I was at a bar one night at a hotel, and there was actually an archaeologist there, a one-time archaeologist who worked on this project and shed some really cool information about his coolest discovery was he found the cornerstone of a foundation at the Serpent Mound of the old cultures, and it was like way old.
Huh.
And their bathroom was just like small pebbles that they could like that filtered. It was like a filtration service. They had bathrooms in their own house in their little huts in like the 1500s at this place. Wild stuff. Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, it was it was one of the coolest conversations I have had in a long time. And everything he said was true. Like you just like it was so specific, like it had to be true. Because he also said how you had no money because everybody wanted to be an archaeologist, so they pay them all like shit because there's like 30 more waiting to do it.
Okay, Serpent Mound, 1,370 foot long prehistoric effigy mound located near Peebles, blah, blah, blah. It dates around 321 BC. In the 1890s, Professor Frederick Putnam excavated some of the mounds next to the Serpent Mound and found only 6 foot tall skeletons, but a postcard showing one 7 feet in height was recently rediscovered by researcher Jeffrey Wilson. It may have been one of those excavated by Ross.
321 BC, dude.
Notice the legs are cut off to the knees. So is 7 feet what we actually see, or is it an estimation if he had his lower legs and feet? Could it have been more like 8 feet if the shins and feet were intact? Huh. Interesting. Whoa.
West Virginia in the house.
Yeah. Crescent Mound.
No, I want to look where that's at.
1959, Dr. Donald Dragu, curator of section of man at Carnegie Museum, unearthed a 7 foot 2-inch skeleton. The individual was large portion measured in the tomb. His length was approximately 7.4 feet. All of the bones were heavy. Huh.
Oh, damn. That's down in Charleston.
West Virginia?
Yeah. That,
The mound?
The west, it said northern West Virginia, but it's like St. Albans.
The mounds of Iowa. 7 foot 6-inch skeleton.
Did they tear these mounds down then?
So they were obviously burial mounds, not just a mound.
Well, but they can't. I feel like the Ohio one's like one of the last ones standing because a lot of them got destroyed.
Right. Steelville, Missouri.
Conveniently, for education purposes only. It's funny.
8-foot skeleton. Ancient Ozark giant dug up near Steelville. Strange discovery made by boy looking for arrowheads. Gives this Missouri town an absorbing mystery to ponder. Miami's
Picture of it?
what?
Scroll up. That's an actual picture of that thing.
Yeah, next to another dude.
Dang, man.
Miamisburg, Montgomery County, Ohio on the map again. 8
That's-
feet, 1.5 inch.
That's down around Dayton, which is also tied into some of our newspaper articles.
Yeah, the mound is believed to have been built by the Adena culture anywhere between 1000 to 200 BC. It is the largest conical burial mound in Ohio. Once nearly 70 feet tall. Excuse me. The height of a 7-story building and 877 feet in circumference. Hugh excavated the site 2012 after taking some researchers. He found there were other skeletal remains reported in the nearby area.
I think this is one that we talked on last week in the no, we haven't got there yet because this is 18.
That's 1889.
Oh, sorry.
1899.
No, well, we'll find out. Well, it'll be interesting because we'll come across it. So
The San Diego giant.
another one we haven't got to yet, 1895.
Oh, should I stop?
No.
8-foot 4-inch mummy.
Well, this is funny. We're learning about the top 10, so we'll find out if there's any others.
Well, at the same time, it's
San Diego giant was purchased by the Smithsonian for $500.
because I was going to say now if it when we get to it, now you got
That
two
is
different
crazy.
lists talking about the same thing.
Yeah, it'd be funny to cross check everything.
Right.
Wow. A similar mummified giant was also turned up in Spiro Mounds, Oklahoma. It measured 8 feet 5 inches. Huh.
Interesting.
Okay. Catalina Island, California.
That's a hell of a wine.
9 feet 2 inch skeleton and other 7-foot and 8-foot examples. Holy cow. Beaver Lake, Ozark Caves, Arkansas on the map. 10-foot skeleton. So there's the old paper clipping. I'm gonna get through these real quick so we can get back to dude, Lompoc? No way! Lompoc Rancho, California, 1819.
12-foot skeleton.
1819.
Boy, we didn't hear about that.
Holy
Especially
cow.
not 12 foot.
California hacked their way through a layer of cemented gravel and found
Why were soldiers digging
for
up stuff
sarcophagus.
in California in 1819?
The skeleton of a giant man about 12 feet tall was found.
Doesn't make
inside.
sense.
The grave was surrounded by carved shells, huge stone axes, 2 spears, and thin sheets of porphyry.
Purple mineral with quartz covering the skeleton.
Okay. Dude, that's ornate too. Wow.
The soldiers consulted a tribe of Indians.
I was just about to read that. Oh shit.
Oh.
Whoa. Dude, what the frick is up? Okay, there we go. The short report emerged, where were we? The soldiers consulted a local tribe of Indians who, after going into trance, exclaimed they were geographically displaced Aleuigi Indians from the Ohio Valley area. When the natives began to attach some religious significance to the find, authorities ordered the skeleton and all artifacts secretly reburied. No further information is available. Whoa. A 13-foot example?
Yeah, isn't that
14
funny?
Oh.
And now there's nothing in that newspaper article, but it's like they were secretly reburied. But there were soldiers unburying them in the first place.
So right here. Okay, so 2 further 12-foot examples are reported in Jeffersonville, Kentucky, and Bernard, Missouri. 13-foot example was unearthed in Janesville, Wisconsin, and even bones that were estimated to be from a skeleton 14 foot tall in Town Mounds. Dude, and then right here, West Hickory, Pennsylvania, 1870.
Dude, there was another one. Hey, it ties back up to Wisconsin.
18 feet.
Yeah, that's a big son of a bitch. Oh, this is the Cardiff Giant. We talked about this.
Yeah. Bro.
That's the one that made the damn sideshow attraction off of.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah, that
everywhere.
Like I think it's one. If you've watched both of these shows, if you're not convinced, you should be at least questioning something by now. All right. So here is one in this the Middlesex, UK. But this is about King Solomon's Cave in Montana, which I don't remember. Some just interesting discoveries just made in the cave called King Solomon's Cave, Montana, United States. After crawling through several narrow passages in a most magnificent chamber, the attention of the explorers was attracted by a massive shield made of copper, 57 inches in length and 36 inches width, leaning against the wall. About 10 feet beyond the shield and 8 feet from the floor was a cavity in the wall. One of the party, by the aid of some stones, climbed up to the aperture with a light, but quickly descended into such a state of alarm that he was for some moments unable to explain that in the niche lay a petrified giant. The other explorers immediately climbed up to the aperture and gazed in. There, sure enough, was the monster man, whose dimensions on measurement were 9 feet and 7.5 inches, 38 inches across the breast and 2 feet deep. A helmet of brass or copper or gigantic proportion was on his head, which the corrosive elements of time had sealed to his brow. He seems to have been a disagreeable customer, and it is perhaps as well that he is dead and petrified, for near him were 2 mammoth spearheads, one of him with a socket of silver into which to insert a large pull or handle.
Interesting.
Can we talk about this is what I remember last week, is the extensive details on these original reports.
So, dude, interesting that it said mammoth arrowhead. Kim and I last night or the night before were watching these guys backpack hiking through these really, really cool. I don't remember where they were. Dude, and this dude was like, they were just like digging around somewhere or something, and he goes, "Holy crap, do you see that?" And he picks up this rock. He goes, "That looks like an arrowhead." It had like the tip broken off, but I'm not kidding, bro. It was perfect, but it was like this, like massive, bro. Massive. Like, even if it was put on a spear, there's like, we wouldn't be throwing that. There's no way.
All right.
This article kept going on, and it gets a little more interesting.
Ooh.
On the wall were some strange-looking letters and pictures of 3 ships, each having 3 masts, the middle mast being only 2/3 of the height of the outward ones. There was also a flat stone in the wall of the picture of a large man with a spear in his hand and of another ship. On removing this stone, another chamber was discovered, in which were the bones of several more giants, a primitive quartz crusher, and a number of tools made of copper. It is supposed that these poor giants were at work 1,000 years ago in a cave when a slide from the mountain above immured them in a living tomb. And this is from the Pall Mall Gazette. How about that?
Pall Mall Gazette.
The Pall Mall Gazette. Now here's the New York Times. John, you're talking about this, 1876. Louisville Paper. Okay, it's about down in Kentucky. New York Times reporting on it. I think this is one that was already talked about. Remains of 9-foot giants in Ohio. Marion Daily Star. Marion is between Mansfield and Columbus. It's like north central Ohio. But Cincinnati, oh my God, this is Zanesville. This is where my mom's from. Interesting. A correspondent writing about the remains of a giant race found in Muskingum County, Ohio, says the mound in which these remarkable discoveries were made was about 64 feet long and 35 feet wide, top measurement, and gently sloped down the hill where it was situated. All of the skeletons were found on a level with the hill, about 8 feet from the top of the mound. In one grave, there were 2 skeletons, one male and one female. The female face was looking downward, the male being immediately on top, with the face looking upward. The male skeleton measured 9 feet in length, and the female was 8.
True.
The male frame in this case was 9 feet 4 inches, and the female was 8 feet. In another grave was found a female skeleton, which was encased in a clay coffin, holding in her arms a skeleton of a child 3.5 feet long, by the side of which was an image being exposed to the atmosphere crumbled rapidly. The remaining 7 were found in single graves laying on their side. The smallest of the 7 was 9 feet in length, and the largest 10. Dude, stone altars and
it's just dude. And like
there's
that
now a
one,
profound mystery in mankind. The key to unlock I refer to a stone that was found resting against the head of the clay coffin above described. It is irregularly shaped red sandstone, weighing about 18 pounds, being strongly impregnated with oxide of iron, and bearing upon one side 2 lines of hieroglyphs. So, I mean, at this point, I feel like we're just kind of beating a dead horse, boys.
I know.
Yep.
It is. It's pretty wild.
It's just amazing that there's this many records of it out there. Like John Z just went over the top 10, and it just didn't mention either of those last 2, or the one up in Minnesota where they found it on that riverbank, or the one up in Olar, Wisconsin, or the 200 they found up in with like weapons and stuff up in Canada.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like 200. So there was one thing though I did want to look into a little bit further with you guys. I figured do like a live discovery, and I guess I need to look up if you remember the Bigfoot War of 1855 with the Choctaw Indians down in Tennessee.
Mm.
I need to figure out where that allegedly took place.
Are you looking that up now then?
Yeah. A conflict of Chon. Okay, this took place in Oklahoma. Eastern Oklahoma, allegedly.
Okay.
The Light Horseman.
Which that is an interesting little tidbit itself.
Yeah.
The whole
Dude,
Bigfoot.
the AI breakdown of that makes it seem like it was a foregone conclusion that it happened. The AI's breakdown of this is actually hilarious and awesome. What happened? The Choctaw and local farmers set traps to catch the perpetrators. A hunting party was formed, led by Joshua Lafleur, a French Choctaw man. The party included Hamas Tubby and his 6 sons, who were known as the Light Horsemen, which were also considered giants. So they were like these 6, 7 foot, 8 foot guys, and they were the best horse riders out there. That kind of blows me away. The party encountered the creatures near a hill of dead bodies and body parts. The creatures swung at the men and their horses, striking them down. The Choctaw Indians were able to defeat the creatures. Where did it happen? The war took place in eastern Oklahoma, and the region is now known as McCurtain County Wilderness Area.
Huh. Okay.
Then it's like, what is it? The Bigfoot War of 1855 is a lesser-known conflict that is sometimes described as the Bizarre Tale. McCurtain County Wilderness. I mean, it's funny that it's a folk tale of a region, but in that article, it tells you exactly what wilderness area it took place in. So
Right.
that's a little fascinating. So where are you guys at on all this? Damon?
Something's got to be there for it to have this many articles about it, and from that long ago. But again,
Well,
there were several of them that kind of debunked their own self to a degree. But I mean, is that still facts, or is that just them trying to just cover up the truth?
well, I guess here's my point of it is, like, to play on that. If it's all fake news and bullshit, how so many?
No, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But
Like isolated incidents, you know what I mean? Like, I get you can debunk 1, 2, even if you debunk 8 out of 10,
yeah.
Right.
that's still
But what I
leaving
was
like
saying was the ones that
still
was
leaving,
saying,
like,
"Oh, well, these is mastodon remains and stuff like that."
Dude, that's
know,
so ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, is that just you trying to cover something up, or
but even if you give them that one, it doesn't negate the other one found
Yeah, the other
at that
5
in
million of
that
them. I
cave
remember.
10 miles away. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, I don't know. I would have like, okay, some old farmer convinced everybody in town that he found the giant remains and it was a mastodon. Like, I could see that. But then when you find one 20 years later, 15 miles away,
Yeah,
you
'cause
start
that
to
was
wonder,
that was the one that was in Tennessee. They were pretty close.
yeah, they were 15 miles apart, I think you said, or
Mhm.
21, something like that.
Something like that. It was less than 20.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, it's wild.
Definitely.
So are the Bigfoots that were allegedly back then like these ape creatures, or were they just these giants wearing furs?
True. Like wearing
Yeah,
pelts.
and and it's like, it's interesting. Okay, so man,
It's a good way to look at it.
So, and here's my other question, right? So there's only been so many found, right? Where
Yeah.
So what about the rest of them? And if there was only like one guy or handful per region, who buried them so like respectfully?
I'm still in the camp of collaboration of giants and regular sized people coexisting in the same community, and they took care of their giants, and the giants took care of them and protected them. That if you was like, Tony, you have to guess what you think through like that would be my guess. I don't think they were their own little thing. I think maybe way back in like the BC days that they're finding ones that way carbon date. like that would make sense, but yeah, I don't know.
So you're
Like,
saying,
that
so
would
you're
be-
saying, so
I
you're saying
feel
they're
like it was
almost
like
like
a working.
guardians.
Yes, I think that they were like, I think the regular people looked at them as like their gods because they were just so much bigger than them, and then those gods like protected them in some capacity. Like if a hell of a security guard, imagine going to battle and you pull out a 10-foot Native American out there to walk out in front of you. Like, yeah, you'd probably win a few battles, you know.
Right.
You know, I could just see it. I mean, especially if like, okay, let's go off that the legend of the Bigfoot War. If them dudes were like that good on horseback and stuff, like who knows what they were capable of.
True.
Like, I mean, think about it. People didn't have technology and all that. You see a 7-foot dude that's just towering over everybody, riding around on a horse like the best rider. You would think that guy is superhuman too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what do you know?
Yeah,
What do you compare it to? You compare
you
it
would
to
you
like,
would literally be like, oh my gosh, dude, what unholiness! Like, what you would freak. What is this? Like, what do I do?
I see that dude like walking into the camp, and then like all the little kids running up to him, like, "Oh, how you doing? He's back! Like, God's back!" Like, yeah, I could just see it all going down. I don't know, but I'm definitely where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm always about that, and like I said, it's just fun to think about, and you know, it's also scary to think about how much has been
Mhm.
concealed.
Yep. That's the biggest thing.
However, like this is one of those things that if you find out it's true, like it kind of changes the course of time, but it doesn't really change your
No,
outlook
it
of
just
life.
yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't change anything for you right now. It just
It's just, yeah, you're like, oh, I was right. Yeah, it's just the real history, you know, like potential real history. But yeah, it doesn't like, so these are the ones that I like to get my teeth into. It doesn't really, we stumble into something like, yeah, cool, we figured something out, but it's not like
Mhm.
tomorrow would be any different because of it. And I'm fine with that. You
That's
know?
right. True that.
I tell you what, man. Did you guys ever watch? And I'll kind of segue. Johnsy, anything else?
I was just trying to get into some of that Bigfoot of 1855, but I'm gonna need a little more time.
That's fun.
I got some prospects, but we gotta dig deep. So
Okay.
I'm not just gonna start
Uh,
pulling up what it first spits out of me. Yeah, it's not
I have a
porn.
random. I have a random
Hey,
segue
my first time on the internet.
uh, of another topic I would like to discuss on this show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch the docuseries of Tim Kennedy called "Hunting Hitler"?
Mhm.
Awesome.
Are you talking about Tim Kennedy, the vet guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You
No,
seen
I
that
haven't
show?
seen that. No.
Dude, it's awesome. They literally uncovered a whole secret existing Nazi society down in Argentina.
It's not a
They
secret. I've known about it forever.
Well, but they
You
documented
go into
on.
the mountains over there, and they're straight full on built German towns from like back then.
Did you hear
That's all
about
they
the?
know.
There's also a town down in Argentina made of Confederate soldiers called Americana or something like that, where it's like these like they all have a Southern drawl. Like they speak English and they have like a Southern drawl. The ones that like after the Civil War, the elitists, they're like, this isn't. I'm not living here. They're like, I'm out. And they all went down to like continue their Confederate, just like the Nazis did. You know, because it wasn't a secret that numbers 3 through 8 escaped.
Yeah.
Of like the power, like 1 and 2 went down allegedly, but this shows
Bro,
that
half of them got invited here. Werner von Braun,
yeah,
the rocket guy, was a Nazi scientist, bro.
Yeah.
And he was red carpet over here.
Well, because he got invited to
we took a bunch of their top
the
scientists, bro.
Project.
We took a bunch of those top scientists, mother effers, bro. So don't our hands aren't clean at all.
Anyway, But I'm saying like the bad ones that
And
were
that is well-known fact, homie. That is no conspiracy, nothing.
well, there was like
that is for educational purposes,
well,
not
there
for
were
entertainment
there
purposes.
was efforts to recruit him to leave. I don't think he really wanted to be a part of Nazi Germany, correct?
Everybody said that afterwards.
Well, whatever.
I mean, come on.
But
Like,
that's the point. That's the point here. I know. But without getting too deep into it, that was like a really fun hunting Hitler. If that's, I think you guys would both enjoy it. It's really cool because it's like them actually boots on the ground investigating all the theories and
oh
testing
yeah,
stuff, and
I watched a
they
bunch of
like
that
taking
stuff
like, and with
long
modern
before Tim
technology, so
Kennedy.
like yeah, they got a lot of receipts with their research during the show. I wonder how the Giants would have done in World War II. Probably not very good. Big targets.
Who knows?
Maybe they're bulletproof.
Could have been. I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, they could carry armor a lot thicker than we can.
True.
I mean, our bulletproof vests like this, they could pack it on like that and not even break a sweat. Wouldn't even feel like extra pounds. That tiny guy weighed 900 pounds. And he wasn't 18 feet, bro. He wasn't even 9 feet.
I remember that one.
Something.
It was like the bones itself weighed 300 and
yeah, like
341 pounds at that one up in Wisconsin in that riverbank or Minnesota. They like that was the one that was really freaky. They had everything down to the quarter inch, like in quarter of a pound and half pound, and it was
dude. It's like the discovery of a lifetime.
Again, though, the specificness of all that stuff is crazy to me. Like no one's like, oh, there was a report. It's like, no, it's throwing like not just a report, it's data. It's a database of information. It's like Da Vinci could recreate this thing with these measurements you're reporting in this news article here, bub. Hey.
Like, so here's the thing. This is where my sniffer goes off, and this is where we'll dip into a little bit of. But
before he gets going, I'd like to point out that what's about to be said does not truly reflect the Dude Network as a whole. These are personal opinions of Johnsy.
This is just fun for entertainment purposes only. Little facts to think about.
I just feel like we should throw more disclaimers on the show, so it's done. Go ahead.
So all these are found, right? Like which changes the narrative of history quite a bit. Now I'm not saying that the Native Americans are in collusion or anything, but I find it very convenient that all of a sudden none of these are able to be on display and are all just quickly tucked away for religious or spiritual purposes. You know, it's just very convenient, kind of like the Mastodon excuse there in the 1850s and 60s that surfaced real quick.
Yeah. First report, human. Second report, human. Third report, randomly out of some random spot in Louisiana, Mastodon.
It's like you saw the first viral story hit social media, which was the newspaper, and then you saw the first mass media cover-up happen live last week.
Saw it here first on the Dude Network.
That is true.
Look, we're even on the streets breaking news in 1850s.
We're breaking news from the 1840s.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Time travelers.
Still think it's wild that the first article we came from the Kingdom of Hawaii. Not the state of Hawaii, the Kingdom of Hawaii. Yeah. That's how old this goes back.
Well, then that top 10, that 18-footer was found in, or one of those, no, the 12-foot tall was found like 1819 or something.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't go back that far. That was real far back.
Right. I'd like to find out a little bit. Man, dude, there's just
Well, we could ask this. We could ask, well, Jason Colavito here, but he big time us. He wasn't
well,
interested.
we could send him an email and just be like, hey, found a report of a earlier mention than this database. Thoughts. Get him on the sniff. Get him a little
True.
Yeah.
something to
Get 'em on
nibble.
Friday.
Like, look, we ain't
Yeah.
no chumps that just ran across this and want to come. We're not
Roger.
trying to make you look like a fool. Like,
Yeah. Pity the fool.
we're breaking this down. You know, are we gonna do a commercial on this show?
No.
Oh
we're at
yeah,
40
never mind. I forgot about the.
I mean,
We're-
yeah, I mean,
Well,
we
we're
can find
at
it.
46 minutes.
Yeah, let's see.
You know,
I think we just ride this
what
one on
the
up.
show was- This what this show was designed for was under an hour.
I mean that 10-4.
But sorry again, everybody, for not going live this weekend. But families needed a weekend of us for a change, and while I'm laying here on this comfy chaise, it's been a good time hanging out with you guys, and yeah,
That's
I've
like
been
the
comfy all night.
I know. Then that there's time number 6, at least that I could remember.
Mm-hmm.
This
Almost as
Chase
many
thing,
times
oh,
as the
I'm
government
so
said
comfy.
that it's almost as many times as everyone said it was a mastodon.
True.
Oops. By the way, guys, so
Maybe.
comfy. I'm so comfy.
Oh my gosh.
Here we go. All right, for entertainment
Number
purposes
42.
only.
You filthy animal.
Yeah, for entertainment purposes only, this was an unbelievable show. Absolute blast of a topic. Such a good topic, it actually stretched 2 weeks long, and our ADD stayed intact for both of them. Not bad. Good job.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
we
now we got to come up with something else.
We're not going to follow up with the Bigfoot war deal, or have we talked
Oh,
about
yeah.
that enough?
No, we could. If there's more to dive into, let's do it. What if there's other stories involving?
That's
there's
what
gotta
I'm
be more
talking.
ancient.
Okay.
There's got to be more
Okay.
ancient stories.
Look,
of
you're
them
already
more-
on. Yeah, you're telling this. Now you're telling the quiet parts out loud right now.
Yep.
You can't tell people the research. We're supposed to give it to them, and then they go do the research.
Okay, we're gonna do some research too. We'll find out next week.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But Damon,
Mm-hmm.
get
I'm
us out of here, Dave.
gonna go find me a giant.
All right. Damon will be the one to kill one too. He'll be the one to go get Bigfoot. How much you want to bet? He knows where he's
Nah.
at. He's probably look up his
Nah, that's the hide and
he's
seek
look up the
master
Secret
plan.
Service database and see which one's living over in.
Bro, you're never gonna find one.
No.
It's hide and seek world champ, bro. Period. End of discussion.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Hey, you don't come out in a war in 1855 and then disappear off the face of the earth, but get sighted all over.
What
the
if
damn
that
place.
was the loss that sent them underground?
Hmm.
Oh man, we're tiptoeing in some cool conversation now.
Dude,
Tune in
that
next time,
would be-
folks.
That's right.
Have they been
We
reported in a
continue.
war since 1855 with the Choctaws? Find out next week because we got research to do.